Swivl Sessions, interviews with field service entrepreneurs. Get insights and strategies from those who took the leap and risked it all to start their own home service companies. Evan and Russell with TX Handyman and TX Cabinet Pros. Just a great Swivl session. Jeremy, what do you got?
Evan and Russell, I was impressed with these guys. They're the 1-2 punch combination with handyman, repair expertise, and carpentry. Each guy has unique strengths that complement the other, and I think together they have the recipe for a successful business.
The two-owner dynamic was one I was anxious to see how that works out. And not just two-owner, but two separate companies and multiple companies. And the way that these guys just seamlessly came together. They brother-in-law their strengths and weaknesses so well. And it was simple for them. You show up, you do good work, and the clients are going to call back. And for their sales funnel, they just will be recommended for one of their other businesses. Super smart way to be successful. You scale up your expertise. You find the right guys to execute it. It's a great way to go. So Evan and Russell, TX Handyman, TX Cabinet Pros, enjoy the show.
Welcome to Swivl Sessions, where we dive into the world of field service entrepreneurship. Now, before we get into today's interview, let's introduce the host you'll be hearing from. First, there's Tyson. So Tyson's taken his office decor to the next level with a ceremonial sword that has us all on edge, literally. So let's hope he uses it to cut deals, not coworkers. Tyson.
That's my grandfather's West Point sword, so it's a little sentimental. Thanks, Rob. I want you guys, you've already talked to him, but I want you to meet Jeremy. He's our sales guru. He gets all the heavy deals done, and 9 times out of 10, he does it barefoot. Okay, he's 5 feet in the door, and the shoes come off. That's how relaxed he is. There's Jeremy.
They're actually off right now as we speak.
I knew it.
Hey, thanks for that, Tyson. Guys, meet Rob. You've talked to him a little bit here already. He's our resident operations expert. People don't know this about him, but he is also the creator of the Middle-Aged Man Office Wellness Starter Pack, complete with a mouse-sized desktop punching bag, a tiny foot hammock, insert joke here, and he swears improves his productivity, and he has a treadmill he uses exclusively for conference calls. Are you on it right now, Rob?
Yeah, whatever. So I knew you were going to go with that stuff, and I actually teed it up for you today. So let's get to the good stuff. All right, so today we're excited to introduce Evan Pantano and Russell Olschner. Did I pronounce those correct? Okay.
You got it. Very good.
Texas Handyman here, a handyman remodeling business based in Austin, Texas. So Evan and Russell, welcome to Swivl Sessions. It's great to have you here. How are things in Austin?
Well, we're doing pretty good over here. Just a little background on the handyman here. It's kind of moved into a cabinet pro situation where we've got 2 companies going. Handyman here is sort of our lead generation where we do service work, and then that falls into our kitchen remodel business, which is Texas Handyman or Texas Cabinet Pros. So we that's kind of where Russell and I have partnershiped on these, and we're moving forward and getting things done out here in Austin.
Yeah, Evan had his business, Texas Handyman here, and then I had a carpentry company, Olsch Creations, and we started doing a few jobs together, and then we created TX Cabinet Pros, and now we're kind of combining all 3 specialties. So it's like cabinetry, custom carpentry, and then the handyman service work, and we kind of use all 3 to feed each other and keep the schedule full.
One-stop shop.
I mean, and we'll probably get to it later on, but is the plan to take those brands and put it together under an umbrella?
Yeah, we do kind of have a design, an idea for a company that incorporates all of that, some kind of larger design, grand design, big design. Still not sure of the name of that yet, but
It'll come to you at some point.
Exactly.
And then is the concept to just keep adding sub brands underneath that? So, landscape design and full of great ideas.
He's filled with them.
The implementation is the hard part, and that's why we're here to hear the stories of execution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what we've found is the service work has led into, we show up, we do good service work. Most of these jobs are, couple hours, maybe a half day, maybe a full day. It just kind of depends on what it is. And a lot of the time those clients call us back because we're like, hey, by the way, we also do custom carpentry. We also do kitchens. We also, so that kind of feeds into our lead funnel of getting, bigger projects. So that's where the secondary company kind of comes into play. We call it our sister company. And, we've kind of grown from that.
Love it. I love it. So, guys, this podcast, we like to inspire entrepreneurs. So we like to ask people what they were doing before they got into the business. So someone watching this might be thinking about getting into opening their own business. What were you guys doing before?
Well, so I started pretty early. I was doing solar electric installs, solar hot water systems. So it was kind of, not exactly the same as what I'm doing now, but that's where I started. And, after the company that I was working for went out of business, I ended up working for a bunch of general contractors, just kind of learning how to do residential new builds and, got my head into a lot of that, got a lot of experience with that. And then eventually they upgraded me. They call it upgrading me to a project manager. So I was overseeing pretty large jobs. And then I realized at some point that I wanted to be doing this for myself. So that's kind of where we started Handyman here when I first moved to Austin, Texas. We were out in San Diego, California for a good while doing new builds there. And so when we moved here, that's when I decided to start my own thing.
Well, it sounds like you have a background in electrical and plumbing, essentially.
Electrical, plumbing, new home builds. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of experience with pretty much everything related to building a house. So
Nice.
That's great.
What about licenses? You have to have, I guess in Texas, what are the rules? And
so, yeah, we don't do any plumbing or electrical work out here just simply because you need to have 8 years of experience out in Texas specifically. None of my experience in California transfers here. So
yeah.
Right. I kind of got myself in a situation where I couldn't be doing that work here, unfortunately. Yeah. But and I really didn't want to work for somebody for 8 more years out here in order to even get that licensing. So
yeah, could you get your license working for yourself for 8 years?
No, because it needs to be under a master electrician or a master plumber in order to get that. So yeah,
maybe in short order you hire one of those guys and
right.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, bring them on
down the road. Yeah. Russ, how about you? What's your background?
I started off, I'm from New Orleans, and, Dad was always handy. And then Katrina in 2005 is really where I started doing construction, just jumped right in gutting houses, and then got into roofing, and then got into sheetrock. And then I started raising houses, like leveling them and shoring them, and even moving houses. And I was in a band for a while. So kind of
course,
construction was my side gig for about 10 years. And then around 2015, 2014, I started building our studio with a carpenter in New Orleans. And he kind of took me under his wing and mentored me into trim carpentry and kitchen cabinets, all kinds of things carpentry related. And then I just kind of took off on my own. He was a firefighter, so he didn't do it full time. And so I took off on my own in New Orleans and started doing that. Tried to be like a general contractor for a year and almost lost my head. Just like one of the most stressful periods of my life. Not literally. Yeah. Not literally. It was just extremely stressful time, with full-time guys and the workload. And I'd scaled back from that. And then when we moved to Austin, I have some friends and family here. So I was able to get plugged into a community and network and started doing some floating shelves, bookcases, closets, trim packages for some new home builds, and contact and referral leads to another, and stayed pretty busy. And then a mutual friend of ours introduced us, and we got together on a couple of projects. And then, Evan's strengths are a lot of my weaknesses and vice versa sometimes. Yeah. So we make a real good team in the business that we've created together.
I mean, you guys, you have the roof to the sheetrock to the electrical to, there's pretty much nothing that you guys can't combine on to build a home if you needed to, right?
This is true. And that's also, the blessing is a curse, because you got to learn how to say no. Yeah. And we've kind of honed in on a niche for ourselves and try
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Exactly.
Try not to expand out of that too much, because it's like you can quickly go down a rabbit hole where it's things you don't do often enough, and you're not efficient at them, and you're trying to figure out, well, where do I even get these products? And I don't have any relationships with any, suppliers. So it's like you're calling new people, and then you're like, how do you do this thing again? And then you're watching videos on YouTube all day trying to figure out how to do this again. And so we've kind of honed in on cabinetry. The handyman work involves a wide variety of things. Yeah. But, trim out packages for houses, carpentry, all things carpentry related, and kitchen builds, from prefab to full custom kitchens. So,
We like to hear that there's always a moment or the time that people make that decision to work for themselves. And I would love to hear if you guys had that either with your other companies, what you're doing before, or together. Was there an instance that sticks out in your memory that made you realize, okay, I want to do this myself?
I think for myself, it was when the GC that I was working for was doing layoffs. They were having some issues selling projects, and about the same time, my wife and we ended up moving out to Austin, Texas. So it was like, for me, it was a good transition into being like, okay, I guess it's time to do this, because I don't really want to work for somebody else. And at the time I was in a good position. I had a good amount of savings. We were able to kind of float along until we figured it out. That's when I started Texas Handyman. And then from there, I got really busy. People were noticing the quality of our work and referring them to all our friends and of the clients we were working for. And so it kind of just grew really quickly from there. And then I was getting to a point where I was so busy that I couldn't do it all by myself. So a mutual friend of ours introduced me to Russell, and we did a couple projects together, and we're like, this is working great. And that's when the secondary company came into play. And I guess there wasn't like an aha moment that was like, this is the moment, but it was just this transit
organically
period of like, it just made sense to start it.
And you're lucky that you guys were able to make that connection so effortlessly. That's rare that two guys can come together from different companies and do that. So that's great.
Yeah, it has been great. Yeah, for me, it was, I guess I started out always working. I mean, when I was young, I started cutting grass in the neighborhood when I was like 12 and 13, helping out my older brother. So, and then when he left to go to college, I was cutting grass before I had a license, pushing the lawnmower and the weed eater and the blower around the neighborhood, cutting grass. And so I did that all through high school, scaled that up to where I had like 30 something lawns that I was cutting almost every week in high school.
Nice.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was nice. I was always, the guy with extra cash in high school.
And I'd say that's called
that guy we hated.
Yeah, right.
Work ethic. There's not many high schoolers that have a work ethic like that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't have a good money mentor in my life. I can't really say I have much to show for that except my work ethic.
There's still a lot.
Then, I don't know. I guess I worked for different guys when I did the shoring and house moving. That was employed. I was a valet. I worked valet for a little while, but I guess I was just always drawn to hustle and work on my own and taking care of little jobs on my own. And then the roofing job, I was working for somebody. And I guess really what pushed me into it 100% was the Michael Hux. The guy was my mentor in New Orleans when I built that studio with him. Once we started working together, and he was like, Russ, you're good enough to be doing this on your own. Like, you're not going to be working for me for more than a year, and I'll just call you when I need some help on different projects. So
good of him to do that.
He really pushed me into, giving me the confidence and skills.
Love that.
Doing it on my own.
Great. So I always like to kind of explore expectations before and after. So it's one thing, working for someone, you really don't have a worry in the world, right? But then once you start your own business, the world changes. So tell me, before you guys started your own business, you had expectations of what it would be like on the other side. You're excited about it. Tell me some of those expectations that were met or not met.
Well, it's like, this sentiment of like, oh, I don't want to work for anybody else. Like, I want to make my own schedule, and I'm holding on to my freedom, and, I'm a sovereign individual. And it's like, eventually you just end up working for yourself. Like, your business and your schedule becomes the thing that is like demanding your time and energy and freedom. So you think that, you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And while that is true,
Just work more.
a successful company.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I'm describing the darker side of it, but it's like you can become a slave to your own company, that
We've heard that many times.
Well aware, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the expectation kind of in the past for me was that idea of like, I don't work for anybody and I'm free and I can do whatever I want when I want to. And then the more you get into it, you're like, oh no, I'm responsible and I have obligations and deadlines. I overbooked myself and now I'm working until 12 o'clock every night.
Yeah. That's pretty common. That's a super common expectation. That's kind of why I always like to ask this question, because that's pretty consistent of what I see. What
Right.
about any kind of hurdles that maybe you're in the business now, and like, yeah, have you not figured something out yet? Like what's your biggest problem that you're seeing in your business? What's keeping you from growing?
Well, that's a good question. I think for us right now is just finding reliable people to work for us. Keeping someone on consistently and being able to generate enough business and work for, to actually have employees and have people working for us, and keeping them on task, and, getting the quality out of them that we're expected to deliver has definitely been a challenge. And, we've found some great guys that have done amazing work, and we try to keep them as busy as we can, but it's not always like the work's not always there, right? It's not always there 100% of the time, so I guess that's one of our struggles, is just kind of keeping our schedule full enough to keep everybody busy, right? Keeping on top of the sales. Cause like right now it's like him and I are the ones selling the projects, doing the project management, operating the business, dealing with all the accounting, dealing with the invoicing. We have people that are helping us with all that, but ultimately it's our, it's ours. We got to deal with it. We got to handle it right, at least at this juncture in the business. And, trying to keep that consistent and trying to be on top of all those things. Also not trying to work 100 hours a week, which has kind of been at least for me, it's been my schedule. But yeah, I mean, I would say that's the biggest challenge, is trying to get to a point where I'm feeling the work-life balance is good for everybody, including myself and including Russ and including everyone who works with us. Yeah, trying to find that balance, I think, is the hardest part.
We're coming out of a phase right now where, so both of us have been working by ourselves for, 2 or 3 years now, steady. And then we jump into working together. And then we have, over the course of, 4 to 6 months, we took on 2 guys that are helping us. And for a period there, for almost a year, it was almost full time, not 100%, but almost full time. And I think we both got caught up in like making sure we had work for them, and did it to the detriment of our efficiency. So now we're like running around, to 2 or 3 jobs a day, trying to put out fires or keep customers, clients happy, and things got real inefficient. So the past 2 months or 3 months now, we've kind of scaled back again to where it's just the 2 of us. And then we have the 2 guys that help us out kind of on the sideline, in and out as we need. But yeah, that's what we're at right now, trying to figure out how to get through this. Okay, how do we go from the 2 of us to 1 guy, to 2 guy, to a full-time and a part-time, or are they both part-time? And a lot of it's skilled work. So I think, one of us has to be involved in the job, no matter what it is. We can't overbook and expect them to deliver without our involvement.
Growing pains, what it sounds like.
Oh, we need a couple clones, would be nice.
Yeah. Good luck.
We hear this a lot, for sure. So it's the 2 of you right now. You're the 2 full-time employees, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay.
We had a couple guys, and right now we feed them work when it makes sense. They were working full time for us for, like you said, a couple months, 3 or 4 months, 6 months, something like that.
Yeah.
And when did you guys merge together?
About a year ago.
Yeah, I think it was like January.
Yeah.
So a year in 3
months.
4 months.
Okay. All right. And then is it just word of mouth at this point? Like your customer, getting your new customers and new business, or are you guys doing some socials, or how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, mainly our projects that are coming in are from referrals or from previous customers that have referred to other people. We happen to work for a couple of general contractors that feed us a good bit of work. And we also have some designers that we work with that also feed us a good amount of work. So
Good.
we got a lot of good relationships going where we're able to keep the business operating well. We did attempt to do a marketing campaign and spend a good bit of money and really didn't get much out of it. So that was a learning situation for us as well. It's just kind of like what works in marketing, what doesn't. We hired a marketing guy. He was pushing Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, kind of like doing the whole thing for us.
But it just didn't generate quality leads.
Yeah, the leads that came through, they're all kind of tire kickers. It was a lot of wasted time, I feel like, where we actively were, reaching out to these leads, trying to stay on top of them and trying to coordinate with them and get them what they're looking for, just for them to say, too much money, bye, and that was it. We never hear from them again. We're like,
Yeah. What about like
That's
Angie's
common.
and Thumbtack and those lead gen sources?
I tried those early on when I was just starting the handyman business, and I definitely got some work out of it. And that sort of grew into more referral business. But I quickly shut those down. Just it wasn't working for me. So
some of the best referral leads that we've gotten have been a couple jobs from Home Depot.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Home Depot.
Nice.
Surprisingly,
Hanging out at Home Depot and someone saying, "Hey, can you do this?" Or like as installers for Home Depot.
Through Evan's like pro account.
Yeah, so they have like a lead service. Essentially, you sign up for a pro account with them, you spend money on your pro account, and there's like this whole other section where you can find new hires, you can do lead generation. They send you leads for different things. And we found some kitchen and bathroom remodels through that, which I was very, very surprised by.
That's great.
One job's about to go through right now. It's like we're installing some cabinetry on a boat dock.
Yeah.
And we're leaving this really, beautiful home and everything. We're leaving. And we're like, where did we get this referral again from?
Yeah. That's great. That pro account's got a lot of perks.
It does. Yeah.
I had my old life, I enjoyed a lot of those perks. So you've been in business together for a year. What kind of revenue how did we do last year?
Revenue wise, we were just over about 200K. Granted, a lot of that went to expenses and growing pains and shop expenses and stuff like that. But yeah, so
how do we look different this year? Do you have a goal? Are we on track for something?
So we're probably on track for about 300, almost 400, just with the kitchen work that we've got.
That's good growth.
Yeah, so we're looking to double. Ideally, that's where we'll be at.
Yeah.
So far this year has started off really well. We've been extremely busy and we've had some really good profitable projects. So we're hoping to continue that trend.
So as a software company, we love to ask that tech question. And I'm just curious, what type of software platform do you guys use that helps you keep in touch with your clients and your invoicing and your estimate and all that stuff?
Yeah, so
Evan is just as handy with the tech side of things as he is with the trades. So
this is
that's helpful.
I was a computer nerd in high school, so my high school years were sitting there programming, playing with different database softwares, kind of just.
So you speak
I do a little bit, yeah. It's sort of it's gotten to a point where I'm not so up to date on it, but I'm aware of what's there and how a lot of it works. So right now we're using a couple different softwares, different project management things like milestones and stuff that when they're hit, they automatically go out. So that's something we've been using for that. Just kind of dumping all our data in there, and then she processes it and puts it where it needs to go. So it's been working out.
Each job gets its own channel, and everything related to that job goes in that one. It's been good organization.
Yeah,
that is cool. Yeah, that's the first time we've talked to someone that built their own thing that seems to be working. That's awesome. So that's impressive.
Yes,
so tell me this. Let's talk about what the future plans are for the company or companies. So what are your goals, and then maybe what's your exit strategy?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
a great question. I mean,
I think our goals, I mean, I guess if you just look at the kitchen work, not in like the other carpentry trim work aside, I think our exit strategy would be to optimize and create a company that can install these prefab cabinets, in a very efficient and successful, high quality way. And what we do with the prefabs, if it's in the customer's budget, is we use a lot of the materials that they supply that are all pre-finished, and we will, customize a kitchen with prefab material. So we can get a higher end product at a lower price point. And somebody will walk in and be like, it looks like a custom kitchen, but we've used all prefab materials and parts to make it happen.
That's great.
So, training a couple guys and establishing a solid crew that can execute and perform that would kind of be, I guess, our next step to where we can have them locked in, know what they're doing, and what's our number, like how many kitchens a
I mean,
month?
we were talking about, for us to be in a really, really good position where we're able to kind of scale the company and grow it into what we've been thinking it's going to grow into, is we need to hit 10 of those prefabricated kitchens per month. And in order to do that, there needs to be at least one solid crew that can, knock these out in a couple days. That was the goal we had originally were talking about when we first were developing this. Like, if we can hit this number, we can hit $1 million a year. So that was the goal.
I like the vision.
And while all that's happening, we're still doing, trim out packages on houses. We're still doing built-ins, entertainment centers,
little service work
floating
projects,
floating
too.
shelves.
So,
The 30 yards from your high school days, they're probably
You're
still
talking
calling you.
Yeah, right.
Scaling.
Yeah, go cut some lawns.
Right.
I like the concept of kind of scaling up your expertise, so you can go in and design, draw it out, and then bring those guys in to bang it out. Right. That's what we're talking about. But using your expertise to kind of replicate that and then scale. I think that's a great way to grow. And then when it's all said and done, you guys, you have a big company, you're doing $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, you sell?
I don't know. I guess it depends on
know.
how much, what is it costing me to keep the company running? And if that is a high price, I guess it would be mostly with my time, then yeah, maybe we do consider selling it. But at this moment, I feel like we would just maintain it and keep it running smoothly and work out kinks and train new guys. I'm sure there would be turnover. So
that makes
we would
sense.
probably be spending a lot of time training new guys, at least, after the initial success.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the only way you can replicate yourself. That's great.
Right.
All right, so taking up a lot of your time, and we've covered a lot of ground. Really, it's been cool listening to your journey and of building your company. It's inspiring. So before we wrap it up, again, is there something that you would, if you were to talk to a group of people who may be listening to this and or watching, and they're thinking about starting their own business, what would be a piece of advice that you would offer to them freely?
I think the most important thing is to have some developed relationships where you know that you're going to be able to get some work from it. I would say start reaching out to, depending on what they're doing, obviously, but reach out to different developers or general contractors or designers in their area, and start building those relationships. And another big thing would be to attend those events where they're going to be there, and just start making friends with people, because that's where the best jobs come from.
You do the legwork.
Exactly. Get in there and start doing it. I mean, really, that's
And they appreciate that when they see that effort. That's something that sticks in their head.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
along
in
the same
there and
lines, I would say
start doing
find
it.
somebody who's doing what you want to be doing and learn from them. Try to figure out how to, work for them or acquire their skills through interaction or helping them or being their helper. Even with today, we have so much social media, and YouTube is just such a great resource to see so many skilled people doing the things that you want to do, and then getting out there and trying it out. It's not until you actually start, because you can think you want to do something, but you don't know whether or not you really want to do it until you actually
So you're
start doing it. Because then it could just be this like this dream fantasy in your mind of like, oh, I'm going to be a farmer. I want to be a farmer and raise animals and have my own homestead and be a farmer. If I never actually try to be a farmer, then it's just this fantasy that's never realized. And then I'm beating myself up for not being something I think I want to be. And I actually don't want to be that because I never tried to do it. That was my journey.
Regret.
Yeah.
All
So,
right. Well, I mean, that's all good stuff. Appreciate it, and really appreciate the time you guys took today to speak with us. And your story,
absolutely.
for sure, is going to resonate with a lot of entrepreneurs and maybe help or inspire them to pursue their own paths.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Hey, this might be untraditional, but is there like a quick reactionary response you might have for Evan and I with like our story and what we've told you? Like,
So I love your story, and I guess I took a similar journey, but I started or I bought a little company. It was just a one-man, really a two-man truck that was plumbing. Built that company up to 30 trucks and then sold it. And that was, that's why I always like to ask about the exit strategy, et cetera. But, had all kinds of problems all along the way, a lot like what you're having right now. And that's kind of why I did, like, in hindsight and for nostalgia, I love to see you guys getting started, but on the path to success, because it really is. It's tough, but when you look back at it, you're like, holy shit, that was awesome,
Yeah.
So my knee-jerk reaction is hats off. I mean, we salute you for doing it. So you're 1 year into it. You have a 50% growth rate, which is not sustainable, I think. Well, you never know for the long haul. But
Right.
if you just, focus on what you need to focus on, that, and you're growing at 25, 50% a year, that's pretty badass. So
You work well together.
you definitely need partners of some sort. So good partnerships can be highly successful. So it sounds like you're on the pathway for that. Like that positivity attracts and retains employees. So, don't ever lose that positivity. And a good entrepreneur is going to be just over positive all the time. I can do it because I said I can do it, right?
exactly.
And it can hurt you at times too.
Right. Yep.
Youth and aggression. That's what is coming out, and those are two good, necessary foundational traits for a growth company. So I'm sure you'll make a lot of mistakes along the way, but learn from them, and that's my advice anyway. But for all of you watching or listening, if you're in the greater Austin, Texas area and you're in need of handyman remodeling, bathroom renovations, kitchen renovations mostly, make sure you reach out to TX Handyman here. You can find their contact information right here on the screen.
Put your fingers up, guys. Right there. There you go.
And believe me,
It's Cabinet Pros as well.
and that's right, and TX Cabinet Pros.
We're going to have to make a bigger screen to list all of the...
It's a big billboard. So once again, thank you, Evan and Russell, for being here with us on Swivl Sessions.
Thank
All
you.
right. Jeremy, Rob, Tyson, thank you.
Thanks.
Evan, you're on the right track. We enjoyed talking to you.
You as
And
well.
that's a wrap. Thanks for listening or watching. Swivl's field service software is everything you need to run your field service business for free. Till next time, check us out at swivl.tech. That's SWIVL.tech.